Today, I'm pleased to be talking with Dr. Jody Lenko, who is the Vice Chair of the Department of Medicine for Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. Thank you so much for joining us. Everyone is talking about vaccines. What are the vaccines, the differences among them, and should we get it? So what do you say?
Yes, absolutely. It's an exciting time that we're talking about vaccines and that we're not talking about how many people are dying from COVID, because those numbers fortunately are going down, partly because of the vaccination effort. So in the United States, we have 3 vaccines that are available right now that were approved by the CDC. So the 2 most common ones that people have heard about are the Moderna or the Pfizer vaccine, which can be thought of as basically very similar mechanisms in terms of how they produce the response, an antibody response. And the third vaccine, those are called the mRNA vaccines. The third vaccine that was more recently approved was the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Currently, that is not available in the state of Pennsylvania to any health networks. It's only available right now to the teachers. So the state has decided to take that approach for now. But the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is a little bit different than the mRNA vaccines. So how focusing mostly on the Pfizer and Moderna, how they work, it has nothing to do with introducing DNA and altering your DNA in your body. It will not change your personality. It will not do anything like that. The mRNA, all this is basically a protein, and the protein is a code which gets taken up into the cells of your body, and your body makes another protein. And in this situation, the protein that your body makes is part of or similar to the coronavirus spike protein. And then your body then makes an antibody to the spike protein. So it's basically a really sneaky way of getting your body to create an antibody to the spike protein of coronavirus, so that whenever you see that, if your body gets exposed to coronavirus, your body immediately recognizes it. It already has the antibodies, fights it off. You never even feel a thing, so you don't get infected.
Should we be worried about side effects?
And in general, the most common side effects we see from vaccines in general is a site reaction, we call it. Your arm gets sore, gets a little tender. Sometimes it can get warm or hot. And that is relatively common. That is the most common symptom that we see from the vaccine, both the first time you get it and the second time, because both the mRNA vaccines, Pfizer and Moderna, are the 2-shot vaccines. They're most effective when you administer the first shot, and depending on which you get, 3 or 4 weeks later, you get a second dose. And the sore arm is very common. We see that quite often. Some other side effects are more common after the second dose. And in general, we see them just in general, and usually in the younger populations. It seems to be a little less likely in the older population, that they don't seem to have as many severe side effects from the second dose. In general, it feels like kind of flu-like symptoms. Your body aches, sometimes a low-grade fever, some mild headache. It's not severe usually, and these are relatively common, but the symptoms last for maybe a day, if that, and then they're gone. So those are the most common side effects that we're seeing from both the mRNA vaccines.
Tell us how people can get in line, for the vaccine, how they can register.
Go to lvhn.org, and on there will be a link to sign up to the My LVHN portal. That will give you direct access to when you are available to schedule the vaccine, determining which category you're in, and also when there's slots available in all of our system, regardless if it's in Hazleton or Schuylkill or Pocono. Some of the mass vaccination events like at Dorney Park and at Pocono Raceway, it will give you access to all of those. Right now, we are following the principles of the state in terms of which people we're vaccinating. So we are still in phase 1A, which includes, as most people know by now, medical personnel, the first responders, most of which have been vaccinated, but also people over the age of 65 and anybody over the age of 65, if you're younger than 65 with certain conditions. And you can find those on Lehigh Valley's website, in addition to the State Department of Health website.
Important information that we all need to know right now so that we can all stay safe, get vaccinated, and hopefully put COVID-19 in the rearview mirror.
So I encourage anybody that's thinking that they want to wait just because everybody else around them is going to get the vaccine and they don't have to. It's not a good strategy. It's not going to get us to where we need to be, and it's not going to get us back to our normal lives as quickly as we can. The quicker people get vaccinated, then the quicker we'll be back to our normal lives.
Today's news feature is brought to you by the Cheese Store and more. Come in and order slices of their Easter pie, and don't forget to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials.